My beloved child, pause your scrolling heart for a moment, because what is unfolding right now is not ordinary, and it is not random. This is not a message you casually stumbled upon. On January 12, a divine portal has just opened, and the heavens themselves leaned close to the earth. Archangel Michael is stepping forward with urgency, and his voice carries a warning wrapped in protection. Your spiritual shield has been activated, and only a few were chosen to recognize this before nightfall. You are one of them. This is why you must not ignore this moment. Listen carefully. There are times when heaven opens softly, and there are times when it opens with authority. Today is the second kind. The energy around you has shifted, even if you could not explain it with words. You may have felt restless, unusually alert, or deeply emotional for no clear reason. That was not confusion. It was alignment. When the portal opened, it responded to those whose names were already marked in the unseen realm. Archangel Michael says this clearly. The shield around you is not symbolic. It is active. It is alive. It is standing between you and what was never meant to reach you. For weeks, even months, there have been forces attempting to drain you, distract you, or delay you. Not because you are weak, but because you are carrying something valuable. Heaven does not guard empty vessels. Protection is assigned where purpose is heavy. Understand this truth now. The reason you are hearing this before nightfall is because timing matters. There are decisions, conversations, and thoughts that were about to cross your path. Some were tests. Some were traps. Some were simply distractions designed to pull your focus away at the wrong moment. But the shield was activated just in time. What would have harmed you will now be deflected. What would have confused you will now be exposed. Archangel Michael is not arriving gently today. He comes as a warrior of clarity. He says you have underestimated how closely you have been watched by heaven. Even in moments where you felt forgotten, you were being prepared. Even when you questioned your own strength, reinforcement was already on the way. This portal opening is not about fear. It is about readiness. Hear this deeply. Not everyone can perceive this opening. Many will move through this day as if it were ordinary. They will feel nothing, see nothing, sense nothing. That is not arrogance. It is assignment. Perception is given to those who are meant to respond. And your awareness right now is proof that your spirit has been trained to listen beyond noise. There is a reason the message carries urgency. Archangel Michael says the nightfall matters because darkness often amplifies what has already been set in motion. The shield ensures that when the night comes, your peace remains intact. Your sleep will not be disturbed by unnecessary worry. Your mind will not replay old fears. Even if circumstances around you remain unresolved, your inner world is being stabilized. Let me say something that may surprise you. This activation is not only defensive, it is also preparatory. A shield is raised not only when danger is near, but when advancement is coming. You are stepping closer to a threshold where visibility increases. When light increases, so does attention. Heaven activates protection before promotion, not after. Archangel Michael says you have been misunderstood by people who could not see your heart. That season is closing. The shield now filters voices. Not every opinion will reach you. Not every criticism will land. Not every emotional demand will have access. This is divine boundary setting, and it is necessary for what is next. Do not dismiss the subtle confirmations today. A sentence you overhear. A message that arrives unexpectedly. A sudden calm replacing anxiety. These are not coincidences. They are signals that the portal is active and responsive. Heaven is communicating in layers. and your spirit is decoding faster than you realize. You may be wondering why now? Archangel Michael answers without hesitation, because you did not give up when it would have been easier to disappear. You kept moving, even tired. You kept believing, even when answers were delayed. You stayed soft in a world that tried to harden you. That endurance qualified you. This is also a moment of instruction. Do not overshare your next steps with everyone. Not everyone needs access to what is being built in you. Silence, right now, is part of the shield. Discernment is part of the protection. Rest is part of the strategy. You do not have to prove anything today. Heaven already recognizes you. As the day moves forward and night approaches, carry this awareness with confidence, not fear. Walk knowing that what was meant to shake you will pass by without impact. Walk knowing that unseen hands are adjusting outcomes in your favor. Walk knowing that you were chosen to see this before nightfall because your response matters. Archangel Michael's final words in this moment are firm and comforting. Stay alert, stay grounded, and do not ignore this shift. Something old has lost its access to you, and something new is lining up quietly. The portal has opened. The shield is active, and you are not standing alone. My precious one, now that the shield has been activated and the portal has opened, Archangel Michael draws your attention to something even deeper. Protection is only the first layer. What follows is awareness. Many people are protected but remain unaware, and awareness is what separates survival from transformation. Today, heaven is not only guarding you, it is awakening you. This is why your thoughts may feel sharper, your emotions more exposed, and your intuition louder than usual. Nothing is malfunctioning. You are tuning in. Archangel Michael says there has been a silent recalibration happening within you. Old reactions are losing their grip. Patterns that once controlled your responses are weakening. You may notice that situations which once triggered fear or anger no longer have the same power. That is not maturity alone. That is divine intervention reshaping your inner defenses. The shield does not only block external harm, it also filters internal chaos. This moment carries responsibility. Awareness demands alignment. You cannot go back to operating on autopilot. Every word you speak today, every agreement you make, every promise you entertain carries extra weight. Not because danger is everywhere, but because your authority has increased. When authority increases, precision becomes essential. Archangel Michael warns gently but firmly. Do not rush decisions just to feel relief. Peace that comes too quickly may not be peace at all. You are being invited into a higher level of discernment. Pay attention to what drains you and what energizes you. Pay attention to who respects your boundaries and who resists them. Resistance is information. When people push against your growth, it reveals their assignment in your life. Some were meant for a season, not the destination. The shield helps you see this without bitterness. Here is also a message about your voice. Archangel Michael says your words carry unusual weight right now. What you declare has momentum. This is not the time for careless self-criticism or joking about your own worth. Speak with intention. Even in private moments, choose language that aligns with where you are being led. Heaven listens closely when portals are open. You may feel a subtle pull toward solitude today. That is not isolation. It is integration. Silence allows the activation to settle. Noise disrupts it. You do not need to explain this to anyone. Those meant to understand will feel it instinctively. Those who do not are not meant to manage this phase with you. Archangel Michael also speaks about distraction. He says distractions will try to appear as urgency. messages that demand immediate response, requests that feel emotionally charged, thoughts that push you to worry about things beyond your control. This is where the shield becomes practical. Pause before responding. Breathe before reacting. The delay will protect you. And I'll hear this carefully. The reason this message is being spoken publicly is not accidental. You were meant to hear it in community, not secrecy. There are others under the same activation, and shared awareness strengthens the field. When one person recognizes the shift, it gives permission for others to awaken too. This is why your engagement matters more than you think. If this message is resonating, if something within you feels seen or steadied, let your presence be known. When you like this message, when you share it, when you leave a comment, you are not just supporting a channel. You are amplifying a signal. You are helping this protective frequency reach those who are still confused about what they are feeling. Subscribe if you have not already, because consistency keeps you aligned with what is unfolding. This is not content for entertainment. It is guidance for timing. And if you feel called, joining the community more deeply strengthens the flow of these messages. Archangel Michael says there is a reason you are being reminded of this now. Momentum builds when attention is sustained. Do not drift away just as clarity is increasing. Hold on, because what is about to be revealed next connects directly to a personal situation you have been questioning, and the answer may arrive in a way you did not expect. As the day progresses, remain grounded. You drink water. Breathe slowly. Notice your surroundings. These simple actions anchor spiritual movement into the physical body. You do not need dramatic signs to confirm what is happening. Calm is the confirmation. Stability is the evidence. When chaos fails to enter, the shield is working. Archangel Michael leaves you with this instruction for now. Honor the activation by choosing peace over proving, listening over reacting, and faith over fear. You are not behind. You are not late. You are precisely where you need to be for this moment to take hold. Beloved soul, now the message deepens, because Archangel Michael is not only guarding you, he is revealing why this protection had to activate before nightfall. Here is a truth about your recent struggles that you have not fully seen yet. You assumed you were being delayed, when in reality you were being insulated. You thought doors were closing, but what was actually happening was containment. Heaven was preventing premature exposure to what you were not meant to carry yet. Archangel Michael says there was an unseen collision approaching your path. Not something to fear, but something that would have forced a decision before you were ready. The shield intercepted it. That is why certain plans stalled, certain conversations never happened, and certain opportunities dissolved without explanation. You were not rejected. You were redirected. This portal opening is also correcting your self-perception. For too long, you questioned whether your sensitivity was a weakness. Archangel Michael corrects this gently. Sensitivity is how you receive instruction. It is how warnings reach you before damage does. It is how blessings find you quietly instead of loudly. The shield amplifies this gift, not to overwhelm you, but to refine it. There is something else you must understand. The people who recently misunderstood you were not confused about you. They were uncomfortable with who you are becoming. Growth threatens familiarity. When you evolve, it forces others to confront where they have remained stagnant. Archangel Michael says you no longer need to shrink to keep peace. The shield now absorbs what used to pressure you to explain yourself. You may notice memories resurfacing today. Old emotions, old faces, old regrets. Do not panic. This is not regression. This is release. When a portal opens, unresolved energy seeks closure. Acknowledge what comes up, but do not relive it. You are not meant to go back. You are meant to extract wisdom and move forward lighter. Archangel Michael also speaks about your body. You may feel tired even without physical exertion. Spiritual recalibration requires energy. Rest without guilt. Stillness is productive right now. Your nervous system is learning a new baseline, safety instead of survival. This adjustment may feel unfamiliar, but it is healing. Here is something very important. The shield does not mean challenges disappear. It means challenges no longer define you. You will still face decisions, but they will not consume you. You will still encounter resistance, but it will not derail you. A difference is subtle but powerful. You are no longer operating from fear of loss, but from certainty of guidance. Archangel Michael says the next phase of your life requires clarity more than speed. That is why everything is slowing down, internally even if the world feels rushed externally. Do not compare your pace to others. Your timing is custom designed. When you move, it will be with precision. There is also a message about trust. You have learned to trust God, but you are now being invited to trust yourself again. The shield strengthens intuition so you stop second-guessing what you already know. That quiet knowing you feel is not imagination. It is alignment. If at any point you feel emotional during this message, allow it. Tears are not weakness, they are recalibration. Your spirit recognizes truth before your mind explains it. That recognition is happening now. Archangel Michael wants you to remember this. You were chosen to see this before nightfall because your awareness alters outcomes. When you are conscious, you make different choices. When you make different choices, your future shifts. This message is not about predicting fate. It is about empowering response. As this part comes to a close, anchor this truth within you. You are protected, yes, but more than that, you are guided. You are not walking blindly into what comes next. You are being escorted. Type "I receive the shield" in the comments if this message is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 777 has just been released. Now hear this invitation as part of the message itself. As Archangel Michael speaks of protection, he also speaks of light spreading beyond you. When you support this mission, you are sowing into souls that are still searching for clarity and safety. The word says that when seed is placed into good ground, the harvest multiplies beyond sight, and this is that ground. I am speaking directly to you now. This is your moment to act, not later. What you give becomes oil that keeps this fire burning and reaches those standing in spiritual darkness. Heaven responds to obedience, not hesitation. I bless every hand that releases support through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, and I declare return pressed down and overflowing. Obey now, and let your seed speak for generations. My cherished one, as this message continues to unfold, Archangel Michael now draws your attention to the invisible transitions already taking place around you. While nothing may look dramatically different on the surface, something fundamental has shifted beneath your feet. Foundations are being reinforced. Structures that could not support your future are quietly being dismantled. This is why certain things feel unstable even though nothing obvious has changed. You are standing between what was and what is forming. Archangel Michael says this is a passage moment. You are crossing from endurance into embodiment. In the past, you survived by holding on. Now, you are being taught how to stand without strain. This is unfamiliar territory for you. Struggle hath been your normal, so these may feel suspicious. But peace is not a trick. It is confirmation that alignment has taken place. There is an adjustment happening in how you relate to time. You may feel less rushed, even when responsibilities remain. Or you may feel impatient with delays that once felt tolerable. This is because your spirit now recognizes when something is no longer efficient for your growth. Archangel Michael says wasted time will begin to irritate you, not out of frustration, but out of self-respect. You are learning the value of your own presence. Pay attention to your reactions today and in the days ahead. Situations that once pulled emotional responses from you may now feel distant. This is not numbness. This is sovereignty. You are no longer emotionally available for chaos. The shield does not harden your heart. It strengthens your center. You can still feel deeply without being destabilized. Archangel Michael speaks clearly about boundaries. Not the loud, confrontational kind, but the quiet, immovable kind. You will find yourself saying less, explaining less, justifying less. Silence will do the work words used to struggle with. This is a sign of inner authority awakening. When authority is present, it does not need to announce itself. You may also notice changes in your desires. Things you once chased may no longer excite you. This is not loss. It is refinement. When your frequency changes, your appetite does too. Archangel Michael says, do not force yourself to want what no longer fits. Honor the shift. What is leaving is making room for something that matches who you are becoming. There is also a message about relationships. Some connections will grow quieter without conflict. Others may attempt to pull you back into old dynamics. Neither requires reaction. Distance does not always mean disconnection. Sometimes it means repositioning. You are allowed to evolve without carrying everyone with you. Those aligned will adjust naturally. Archangel Michael wants to address your fear of disappointment. You have learned to expect less to protect yourself, but that mindset is being gently removed. The shield now guards your hope so it can expand again. Hope is not naive when it is protected by wisdom. Allow yourself to expect good without bracing for pain. You are also being prepared for clearer communication from heaven. Guidance may come through dreams, sudden insights, or strong inner knowing. Write things down if you feel prompted. Messages may arrive layered, and recording them will help you see patterns later. This is not about interpretation, it is about attentiveness. Archangel Michael emphasizes patience, not as waiting but as steadiness. You do not need to chase what is aligning itself to meet you. Movement will be mutual. What is meant for you will not require you to abandon your peace. That is one of the strongest confirmations you will receive. There may be moments where you question whether you are doing enough. That question comes from an old survival pattern. You are learning a new rhythm now. One where being is as powerful as doing. Trust that unseen progress is still progress. Roots grow in darkness before anything breaks the surface. As night approaches again in your life cycles, not just today but symbolically, remember this. You are not entering darkness unprotected. You are entering depth with guidance. Darkness is not always danger. Sometimes it is where transformation completes its work. Archangel Michael leaves you with this reassurance. Nothing that belongs to you will miss you. Nothing meant to harm you will bypass the shield. You are not forgotten, overlooked, or delayed. You are positioned. Stay steady. Stay receptive. Let what is forming take its shape without interference. You do not need to force the next step. It will reveal itself when your footing is secure. My dear one, Archangel Michael now turns your attention inward, because the greatest confirmation of this divine activation will not come from external events, but from the way you begin to experience yourself. There is a deep internal realignment taking place, and it is quietly reshaping your identity. You are not becoming someone new. You are remembering who you were before fear taught you to shrink. You may notice that your inner dialogue is changing. Thoughts that once criticized or doubted you were losing intensity. This is not because life has suddenly become easier, but because your spirit is no longer agreeing with narratives that keep you small. The shield does not just block external negativity, it interrupts internal sabotage. Archangel Michael says this is one of the most powerful forms of protection because it restores your authority over your own mind. There is also a recalibration happening in your emotional body. You might feel waves of emotion without a clear trigger. This is release, not instability. Stored tension is finding its exit. Years of holding yourself together are being gently unwound. Allow this process. Suppressing it will only delay the relief that follows. Healing is rarely loud, but it is thorough. Archangel Michael speaks of courage returning to you. Not the loud, dramatic kind, but the quiet courage to choose yourself without apology. You may find yourself declining invitations that no longer align, or stepping away from conversations that drain you. This is not selfishness. It is stewardship of your energy. What you protect determines what grows. Your perception of safety is also being rewritten. For a long time, safety meant predictability, even if it was limiting. Now, safety is becoming synonymous with alignment. You feel safer stepping into the unknown than remaining in spaces that no longer fit. This shift marks maturity at the soul level. You are trusting guidance over familiarity. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that uncertainty does not equal danger. The shield allows you to move forward without needing full visibility. Faith does not eliminate questions. It gives you confidence to walk with them. You do not need to know every step to trust the path. There is also a subtle increase in your sense of responsibility. You may feel called to lead, speak, or act in ways you previously avoided. This calling will not overwhelm you. It will feel like a natural extension of who you are becoming. Leadership does not always look like standing in front. Sometimes it looks like standing firm. You might also experience moments of nostalgia. Memories of who you used to be or who you thought you would become may surface. Do not interpret this as regret. It is integration. You are honoring every version of yourself that carried you here. Gratitude completes cycles that struggle cannot. Archangel Michael says the next phase of your life will require honesty with yourself above all else. You will no longer tolerate self-dissection. When something feels wrong, you will acknowledge it. When something feels right, you will move toward it without excessive justification. This clarity is a gift, even when it challenges comfort. Pay attention to your body as well. It is part of this conversation. Fatigue, restlessness, or bursts of energy are all signals. Respond with compassion. Drink water. Rest when needed. Move when called. The body is adjusting to a new internal environment. You may also notice an increase in synchronicities. Repeating numbers, familiar names appearing unexpectedly, or conversations that answer unspoken questions. These are not distractions. They are confirmations that you are in dialogue with the unseen. Awareness strengthens the connection. Archangel Michael reminds you that protection does not mean isolation. You are still meant to connect, love, and engage. The difference is discernment. You are learning to choose connections that nourish rather than deplete. This discernment will save you years of unnecessary struggle. As this message settles, release the pressure to perform or prove. You are not behind a deadline. You are not being evaluated by human standards. Heaven measures alignment, not speed. When you move from peace. Archangel Michael's reassurance remains steady. You are safe to become who you truly are. The shield stands, the portal remains open, and your inner world is catching up to the truth your spirit already knows. Remain open. Remain grounded. What is unfolding within you will soon reflect outwardly in ways that feel unmistakably right. My beloved one, Archangel Michael now speaks with a tone of steady instruction, because the protection around you is meant to be practiced, not just acknowledged. A shield is effective when you learn how to move with it. This phase is about application. What you have received must now be lived. Heaven has done its part. Now your daily choices begin to reflect the shift. You may notice that situations are presenting you with subtle tests. Not dramatic trials, but quiet moments where you must choose how to respond. Do you react from old habits, or do you pause and listen inwardly? These moments matter more than you realize. Archangel Michael says mastery is revealed in the small decisions no one applauds. Each country chose strengthen the shield. There is also a growing sense of responsibility toward your time. You may feel less tolerant of meaningless conversations or activities that lead nowhere. This is not impatience, it is alignment. Your spirit recognizes value now, and it resists being spent carelessly. Honor that instinct. Where you invest your attention determines what multiplies in your life. Archangel Michael speaks clearly about discernment in communication. Not everything you feel needs to be spoken. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Wisdom is knowing when silence protects more than explanation. You are not hiding. You are prioritizing. The shield filters what leaves you as much as what approaches you. You may also feel moments of confidence rising unexpectedly. Not arrogance, but certainty. A knowing that you can handle what comes. This confidence that I come from God, it comes from trust. Trust that you are guided. Trust that you are supported. Trust that even if things do not unfold as planned, they will unfold with purpose. At the same time, there may be moments of doubt attempting to resurface. Old thoughts questioning whether this shift is real or temporary. Archangel Michael says doubt is not failure. It is an invitation to reaffirm truth. When doubt appears, do not argue with it. Simply return to what you know. Your peace has changed. Your reactions have changed. Your awareness has expanded. These are fruits, not fantasy. You are also being taught how to rest without guilt. Productivity is no longer your measure of worth. Stillness is not laziness. It is recalibration. The shield works best when you are not exhausted. Listen to your body. Listen to your breath. These are not interruptions. They are instructions. Archangel Michael highlights the importance of community in this season. You are not meant to walk this path in isolation. There are others resonating with this message, others feeling the same inner adjustments. Shared awareness creates stability. When you engage, you anchor the message not only in yourself, but in the collective. If this message is helping you stay centered, let it be known. When you like this video, when you share it with someone who feels unsettled or confused, when you comment with what you are experiencing, you are participating in the flow of guidance. Subscribe if you feel called, because consistency keeps your spirit aligned with these reminders. This space exists so that no one navigating the shift feels alone. Archangel Michael says something important here. Do not disengage just as clarity is increasing. Many people leave moments of growth too early because comfort returns. But comfort is not the destination. Embodiment is. Hold on, because what is coming next will connect directly to a question you have been carrying quietly, and the insight may arrive when you least expect it. As you continue through your day, practice presence. Bring your attention back to now when your mind drifts into worry or replay. The present moment is where the shield is strongest. Fear lives in imagined futures. Peace lives in awareness. There is also a reminder about gratitude. Not forced gratitude, but recognition. Notice what feels lighter. Notice what no longer triggers you. Notice the calm that arrives without explanation. These are signs of progress. Acknowledge them. Gratitude reinforces alignment. Archangel Michael reassures you again. You are not late. You are not missing out. What is meant for you is adjusting its timing to meet you where you are now. Nothing is wasted. Even delays have served a purpose. As this message settles, remain attentive but relaxed. You do not need to be hypervigilant. The shield allows you to rest while staying aware. Trust that guidance will reach you when needed. The unfolding continues, and each step forward is being supported in ways you may only understand later. My beloved soul, Archangel Michael now invites you to observe what is quietly rearranging itself around you, because the shield does not only change how you respond, it changes what approaches you. As your inner world stabilizes, your outer world begins to recalibrate. This happens subtly, often without announcement. People shift. Opportunities pause or realign. Paths that once seemed fixed begin to curve in unexpected ways. This is not disruption. It is orchestration. You may start to sense that certain doors are no longer attracting you, even if they once represented safety or success. This is because your definition of fulfillment is changing. Archangel Michael says you are no longer motivated by escape from pain, but by movement toward truth. A difference alters everything. When motivation changes, direction follows. There is also a refining of your expectations. You are learning not to chase intensity, but to value consistency. Emotional highs and lows lose their appeal. Drama feels heavy. Peace feels rich. This is a sign of maturity, not boredom. Your nervous system is learning that stability can be nourishing. The shield protects this learning process so you do not revert under pressure. Archangel Michael speaks about patience again, but from a deeper angle. Patience now is not about waiting for something to happen. It is about allowing what is happening to fully integrate. Rushing would interrupt the formation of something solid. You are not being tested on endurance anymore. You are being trusted with responsibility. Responsibility requires steadiness. You may notice that your prayers are changing. They may feel quieter, less desperate, more conversational. This is because fear is no longer driving the dialogue. Trust is. Archangel Michael says heaven responds differently when requests are rooted in alignment rather than urgency. You are learning how to ask from a place of partnership instead of survival. There is also a message about clarity returning to areas that once felt confusing. Situations you overanalyzed before may suddenly make sense. Not because new information arrived, but because your perspective shifted. When inner noise quiets, truth becomes obvious. The shield reduces distortion so you can see clearly. You might experience moments of solitude that feel intentional rather than lonely. These moments are invitations to deepen your relationship with yourself. Archangel Michael says solitude is where you hear guidance without interference. You are not being separated from others. You are being reintroduced to your own voice. Pay attention to how your body responds to environments now. Places that once energized you may feel draining, and places you avoided may suddenly feel calming. Your sensitivity has become more accurate. Trust it. Your body is part of the guidance system, not something to override. There is also an unfolding lesson about trust and timing. You may feel close to something meaningful without seeing it fully manifest yet. This closeness is intentional. It teaches you how to remain present without grasping. Archangel Michael says what is coming requires you to be grounded, not desperate. Desperation collapses clarity. You are also learning how to release control. Control once felt like safety because it prevented surprises. Now you are discovering that flexibility creates space for grace. The shield allows you to loosen your grip without fear of collapse. You are supported even when you do not manage every detail. Archangel Michael wants to address your concern about mistakes. You worry that one wrong move could undo progress. Hear this clearly. Growth is not that fragile. The shield does not shatter with missteps. Correction is built into the path. You are allowed to learn as you go. Perfection is not required. Presence is. As your awareness deepens, you may feel a pull toward simplicity. Clearing clutter, reducing commitments, streamlining routines. This is not minimalism for appearance. It is alignment for efficiency. When your life becomes simpler, your energy becomes more available. Archangel Michael says simplicity is a form of protection. You may also notice a growing sense of compassion, even toward those who once hurt you. This does not mean reconciliation is required. It means the wound no longer controls you. Compassion frees you from carrying the weight of resentment. The shield absorbs what you no longer need to hold. There will be moments where you question whether you are doing enough spiritually. Release that pressure. You are not accumulating points. You are embodying truth. Every conscious breath, every grounded choice, every moment of presence is part of the work. Archangel Michael's guidance here is gentle but firm. Remain steady. Do not chase signs. Do not force outcomes. Let alignment reveal itself through consistency. What is forming around you is stable because it is rooted in who you are becoming, not what you are trying to escape. Stay attentive but relaxed. The next unfolding will feel natural, not shocking. When it arrives, it will feel like recognition, not surprise. You are moving in rhythm now, and the rhythm knows where it is going. My precious one, Archangel Michael now speaks from a place of deep reassurance, because what you are experiencing is not temporary alignment. It is a permanent recalibration. The shield that was activated is no longer something external to you. It is integrating into your way of being. This means you are no longer switching protection on and off depending on circumstances. You are becoming the environment where peace resides. You may notice that fear no longer arrives with the same authority it once had. It may still knock, but it no longer commands entry. This is one of the clearest signs that the activation has settled. Fear survives on urgency and imagination. When you are grounded, it loses its voice. Archangel Michael says this is not because danger has vanished, but because discernment has matured. There is also a subtle strengthening of your identity happening now. You are less influenced by how others perceive you. Approval and disapproval are losing their grip. This does not make you detached. It makes you anchored. When you know who you are, feedback becomes information, not definition. The shield protects your sense of self so it can remain stable regardless of external noise. You may also feel a deeper connection to truth. Not abstract truth, but personal truth. You are less willing to betray yourself to maintain harmony. This is not rebellion. It is integrity. Archangel Michael says integrity is one of the highest forms of spiritual protection because it keeps your inner world unified. When you are not divided within, very little can disturb you. Pay attention to your dreams during this time. They may become more vivid or symbolic. This is one of the ways guidance bypasses logic and speaks directly to the subconscious. You do not need to interpret everything immediately. Let meaning reveal itself naturally. Rushing interpretation can distort the message. There is also a quiet invitation to trust joy again. For a long time, joy may have felt risky because it seemed to precede loss. That association is being dissolved. Joy is not a setup. It is nourishment. Archangel Michael says allowing joy strengthens the shield because it raises your frequency beyond what drains you. You are also being taught how to remain open without being exposed. This balance is rare and powerful. You can be compassionate without absorbing pain. You can be generous without depletion. You can listen without carrying what is not yours. These are skills developed through awareness, not effort. Archangel Michael wants you to know that the reason this process has felt gradual is because permanence requires patience. Sudden change can shock the system. Gentle change transforms it. What is being built in you is meant to last, not impress. As you move forward, you may feel moments of stillness where nothing seems to be happening. Do not mistake these moments for stagnation. Integration often looks like quiet. Just because there is no visible movement does not mean alignment has paused. Roots grow in silence. There may also be moments where you grieve versions of yourself you are leaving behind. Allow that grief. He honors the journey. You are not erasing your past. You are carrying its wisdom forward without its weight. Archangel Michael says this is how wholeness forms. You are now stepping into a phase where your presence alone brings calm to situations. Others may feel safer around you without knowing why. This is not something you need to announce. It will be felt. Peace has a way of speaking for itself. As this message reaches its turning point, anchor this truth deeply. You are not waiting for protection. You are living from it. You are not searching for guidance. You are responding to it. You are not bracing for impact. You are grounded in clarity. Type "I am sealed in light" in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 1122 is now activated over you. Now receive this as part of the same divine flow. Archangel Michael reminds us that light is meant to travel, not stay contained. When you support this work, you are planting seeds into hearts that are still in darkness, still searching for safety and truth. The word declares that when you sow generously, the heavens open and rivers begin to flow, and I am speaking that promise directly over you now. I am inviting you in this moment to act, not as a donation, but as obedience to what is stirring in your spirit. What you release through super thanks, membership, or PayPal becomes fuel for this message to reach those who are crying out silently. I bless every giver with multiplied peace, provision, and clarity, and I declare that what you sow now will return in perfect timing. Act now, and let your seed speak where your voice cannot reach. My beloved one, Archangel Michael now guides your attention to what begins to unfold after sealing, because protection that has settled into permanence changes how the future approaches you. This phase is quieter than the earlier shifts, but it is no less powerful. You are no longer reacting to life as it happens. You are influencing outcomes by the steadiness of your presence. This is the fruit of alignment. You may notice that situations begin to resolve without confrontation. Things that once demanded explanation simply lose momentum. This is not avoidance, it is authority. When your inner world is stable, chaos struggles to find a foothold. Archangel Michael says peace has way. It alters environments without effort. There is also a strengthening of your intuition that feels practical rather than mystical. You will know when to speak and when to wait. You will sense when to move and when to stay. These decisions will feel calm, not dramatic. Guidance is becoming ordinary for you, and that is a sign of maturity. What once felt supernatural is becoming natural. You may begin to feel less attached to outcomes. not because you no longer care, but because you trust the process. Attachment does not mean indifference, it means freedom from fear. Archangel Michael says this freedom allows you to participate fully without being consumed. You can give your best without tying your worth to results. There is also a deepening of compassion taking place. You may find yourself understanding others without excusing harmful behavior. This balance is important. Compassion does not require access. You can hold understanding at a distance. The shield maintains this boundary so empathy does not turn into self-sacrifice. Pay attention to how you handle uncertainty now. Where you once rushed to fill gaps with worry, you may now allow space to exist. This space is where wisdom enters. Archangel Michael says answers often arrive when you stop demanding them. Trust grows in the pause. You are also being prepared for a season of contribution, not necessarily through grand gestures, but through consistent presence. Your words may carry more weight in conversations. Your calm may steady anxious spaces. This influence is not accidental. It is the natural result of inner alignment. There may be moments where you feel an urge to simplify further, clearing commitments, reorganizing priorities, releasing obligations that no longer serve. This is not retreat. It is refinement. When your life becomes cleaner, your energy becomes clearer. Archangel Michael affirms this instinct. You might also experience a renewed sense of curiosity. Wonder returns when fear recedes. You become open to learning, exploring, and imagining without immediately evaluating risk. This openness is safe now because it is grounded. Curiosity guided by wisdom expands you without destabilizing you. There is also a message about trust in relationships. You are learning to allow people to reveal who they are without trying to manage the outcome. You no longer rush to fix or rescue. This allows authentic connections to form and unhealthy ones to fade naturally. The shield supports truth by removing the need for control. You may notice that your prayers become more listening than asking. Silence becomes comfortable. Stillness becomes instructive. Archangel Michael says this is dialogue, not distance. When you trust the connection, words become optional. As time passes, you will look back and realize how much has changed without force. This realization will bring gratitude, not pride. You will see that the work was done gently, steadily, and with precision. Nothing was right. Nothing was wasted. If moments of doubt return, remember this: growth is not linear. Fluctuations do not cancel progress. The shield does not vanish because of a difficult day. It remains. Stability is not the absence of challenge. It is the ability to remain centered within it. Archangel Michael's guidance now is simple and sustaining. Continue choosing presence. Continue honoring your limits. Continue trusting the quiet confirmations. You do not need to announce your growth. It is evident in how you move. As this phase settles, hold this truth close. You are not waiting for a sign to proceed. You are living the answer. What comes next will meet you at the level of peace you maintain now. Remain steady. Remain open. The unfolding continues, and it is unfolding with intention. My precious soul, Archangel Michael now brings this message into a place of conscious participation, because what has been unfolding within you is ready to be expressed through your daily life. This is not about doing more. It is about living differently. The shield that surrounds you has trained your awareness, and now your awareness becomes the instrument through which peace, clarity, and wisdom move into the world. You may notice that your reactions have slowed down. Where you once responded immediately, you now pause. That pause is sacred. It is the space where discernment lives. Archangel Michael says this pause is one of your greatest strengths right now. It prevents unnecessary conflict, protects your energy, and allows truth to surface without force. Silence, when chosen consciously, becomes a form of authority. There is also a deepening of self-trust happening. You are no longer constantly seeking reassurance from outside sources. You still value counsel, but you are no longer dependent on it. The shift may feel subtle, but it is profound. When you trust yourself, you stop abandoning your own knowing. The shield reinforces this trust by reminding you that guidance is already within reach. You may also feel an increased sense of responsibility for your inner climate. You are more aware of how thoughts affect emotions, and how emotions affect decisions. This awareness is not meant to burden you. It is meant to empower you. Archangel Michael says mastery begins when you realize you are not at the mercy of every thought that passes through your mind. You can observe without agreeing. As this awareness stabilizes, your priorities begin to reorder themselves. Things that once demanded urgency lose importance. Things that truly matter gain clarity. You may feel called to invest your time more intentionally, to protect your mornings or evenings, to create small rituals that anchor you. These choices may seem ordinary, but they are strategic. Stability is built through consistency. There is also a message here about influence. You may underestimate how much your presence affects others. When you remain calm, you give others permission to breathe. When you listen without judgment, you create safety. When you choose integrity, you model it. Archangel Michael says you do not need a platform to influence lives. Alignment itself is influential. At this point, it is important to remain connected, not out of obligation but out of resonance. If this message is grounding you, strengthening you, or helping you make sense of what you have been feeling, let that connection stay active. When you like this video, when you share it with someone who feels unsettled or searching, when you comment with what you are experiencing, you are helping this frequency reach those who need it. Subscribe to stay aligned with these messages, because consistency reinforces clarity. This is a shared journey, and shared awareness multiplies strength. Archangel Michael offers a gentle reminder here, not as pressure but as invitation. Stay with this message a little longer, because what follows connects directly to a turning point ahead. The insight that is coming will only land clearly if your attention remains steady now. Sometimes the most important clarity arrives quietly, after patience has been exercised. You may also feel moments of vulnerability returning. Do not misinterpret them. Vulnerability does not mean the shield has weakened. It means you are safe enough to feel without armor. There is a difference between protection and walls. You are protected, not closed. This allows healing to continue without reopening wounds. There is also a lesson unfolding about balance. You are learning how to be present without absorbing everything around you. This balance will take practice, and that is okay. Archangel Michael says skill develops through repetition, not perfection. Each time you notice yourself overextending and gently pull back, you strengthen your boundaries. You may notice that your faith feels quieter but deeper, less dramatic, more stable. This is maturity. Faith no longer needs constant reassurance because it has been tested and proven. You are not clinging. You are resting. This rest is not passive. It is confident. As you continue forward, remember that growth does not always announce itself. Sometimes it shows up as peace where there used to be anxiety. Sometimes it looks like clarity where there used to be confusion. Sometimes it feels like nothing happening when in reality everything has changed. Archangel Michael's guidance here is steady and affirming. Keep choosing presence. Keep honoring your limits. Keep trusting what feels calm and clear. You are not missing anything by moving slowly. You are ensuring that what you build will last. Remain attentive. Remain grounded. The unfolding is nearing its completion, and what remains will bring a sense of wholeness that does not depend on circumstances. My beloved one, Archangel Michael now brings this message into a place of quiet completion, because what you are stepping into next is not a sudden event, but a settled state. This is the phase where you begin to recognize yourself again, not as someone striving to become, but as someone remembering who they already are. The urgency has softened, not because the calling is weaker, but because you are stronger. You may notice that you are no longer asking the same questions you once did. The constant why begins to fade, replaced by a steady I understand. Even when answers are incomplete, there is peace. This peace is not passive, it is informed. It comes from having walked through confusion and emerged with wisdom rather than bitterness. Archangel Michael says this is the mark of true growth. There is a deep internal settling happening now. Like dust after a storm, your thoughts are falling back into place. The mental noise that once crowded your inner space is losing volume. You may still think, plan, and reflect, but without the pressure that once accompanied every decision. Clarity does not shout, it rests. You are also beginning to trust your rhythm. You no longer feel the need to keep up with others or explain your pace. Some days will be quiet. Some will be active. Both are valid. Archangel Michael says honoring your rhythm is one of the greatest forms of self-respect, and self-respect sustains protection longer than fear ever could. There is also a new relationship forming between you and the unknown. What once triggered anxiety now invites curiosity. You understand that uncertainty is not the absence of guidance. It is the space where guidance unfolds. You do not need guarantees to move forward anymore. You need alignment, and you have it. You may notice that your compassion has become steadier. You care without becoming entangled. You listen without absorbing. You support without rescuing. This balance is not learned overnight. It is earned through experience. Archangel Michael affirms that this is wisdom, not distance. You are present without being pulled apart. Your inner dialogue has also matured. You speak to yourself with more patience. When you stumble, you correct without condemning. When you succeed, you acknowledge without arrogance. This internal fairness creates stability. When you are just with yourself, you do not need constant validation from the outside. There is also a sense of readiness quietly forming. Not readiness for a specific event, but readiness to respond to whatever comes. This readiness is calm, not tense. You are not bracing, you are grounded. Archangel Michael says this is the posture of someone who trusts the path beneath their feet. You may find that certain desires have simplified. You no longer crave dramatic change for the sake of escape. You desire meaning, integrity, and peace. These desires shape a life that feels whole rather than impressive. Wholeness lasts longer than excitement. There is also a gentle closing of old chapters happening now. Not through confrontation, but through release. People, habits, and identities that no longer align are fading naturally. You do not need to force endings. What no longer fits will fall away as you continue forward. Archangel Michael says natural endings leave no residue. You might feel moments of gratitude arising unexpectedly. Not gratitude tied to specific outcomes, but gratitude for endurance, for lessons learned, for strength discovered. This gratitude anchors you in the present. It reminds you that you are not waiting for life to begin. You are already living it. Your faith, too, has shifted form. It is less about certainty and more about trust. Less about answers and more about presence. This faith does not panic when silence appears. It listens. Archangel Michael says this kind of faith carries weight because it is not easily shaken. As this part of the message settles, understand this clearly. You are not standing on the edge of something fragile. You are standing on something established. The shield that was activated did not create dependency. It restored sovereignty. You are capable, guided, and supported. There may still be moments of challenge ahead. Growth does not eliminate complexity, but complexity will no longer confuse you. You have learned how to remain centered even when circumstances shift. This is your stability. Archangel Michael's words now are simple and affirming. Continue as you are. Do not rush the final integration. Let everything settle fully. What comes next will not demand more effort from you. It will meet you where you are, and it will feel familiar in the best way. Remain open. Remain steady. The final unfolding approaches, and it carries a sense of completion that does not need explanation. My beloved child, Archangel Michael now brings this journey to its sacred completion, not with an ending, but with a sealing. What began as an activation now becomes embodiment. What arrived as protection now stands as identity. You are not stepping out of this message the same way you entered it, because something within you has finalized its work. This is the moment where heaven steps back slightly, not in distance but in trust. You may feel an unusual calm settling in as you listen. Not excitement, not anticipation, but certainty. This certainty does not need proof. It does not demand reassurance. It simply knows. Archangel Michael says this knowing is the mark of completion. When truth lands fully, it does not shout. It angers. The shield that was activated did not make you dependent on divine intervention. It restored your ability to stand without fear. You are no longer bracing for impact. You are no longer scanning for threats. You are present. Presence is power. Presence dissolves what panic once magnified. There is a quiet confidence now in how you carry yourself. Even if no one around you notices it yet, you feel it. You respond instead of react. You choose instead of comply. You listen instead of rush. These are not small changes. They are evidence that alignment has become natural. Archangel Michael speaks clearly here. You are no longer in preparation mode. You are in expression. Life will now respond to who you are being, not who you are trying to become. This is why effort will decrease while impact increases. When alignment is real, it does not require force. You may notice that certain prayers you once repeated have stopped. Not because they were answered in obvious ways, but because the need behind them dissolved. Fear-based prayers fade when trust takes root. You are not asking to be held anymore. You are walking held. There is also a deep sense of closure happening. Not closure tied to people or situations, but closure within yourself. You are no longer replaying the past to extract meaning. Meaning has already been gathered. The lesson is complete. You are free to move forward without dragging old chapters behind you. Archangel Michael says this is where many people hesitate, because peace can feel unfamiliar after long struggle. But do not retreat back into chaos just because it feels known. Allow peace to become your new normal. Stability is not boring. It is fertile. As you move forward from this moment, life will not suddenly become perfect, but it will become clearer. Challenges may still arise, but they will no longer shake your foundation. You will meet them from a grounded place, not a reactive one. This difference changes outcomes more than you realize. You are also being entrusted with discernment. You will know when to engage and when to step back, when to speak and when silence serves better. This discernment is not cold, it is compassionate. It protects your energy so your giving remains sustainable. There is one final reminder Archangel Michael places gently in your spirit. You were chosen to receive this message not because you were lost, but because you were ready. Ready to stop doubting your progress. Ready to stop questioning your worth. Ready to live without constantly looking over your shoulder. The portal that opened did not close behind you. It integrated within you. You now carry access, not as a visitor but as a bearer. This is why your presence will feel different to others. This is why certain things will no longer work the way they used to. You have changed frequency. Before this message releases you fully, anchor it with intention. Type "I am sealed" and complete in the comments if you receive this word. Lesson code 1440 is now activated over your life. And now receive this final word as an extension of the same divine instruction. As this message reaches its completion, Archangel Michael calls those who are aligned to help carry this light forward. The word declares that those who sow into truth become channels through which rivers of life flow, and I am speaking that promise directly to you now. I am asking you, in this moment, to act as a vessel, not a spectator. What you release through super thanks, membership, or PayPal is not a donation. It is a prophetic response that sends this word to souls still standing in confusion and fear. I bless every giver with increase, protection, and open doors, and I declare that your obedience will echo back to you in perfect timing. Do not delay what your spirit already agrees with. Act now, and let your seed finish what this message has begun.